there's some examples in nature, but we for sure are the best example of something that's just so uniquely gray. Like, I'm sure Adolf Hitler, for the worst human being that we can think of, had some redeeming qualities. He probably loved his kids or something. You know, he probably had a love for people around him. Like, he had some redemption to him in a
That's the clip that
horrific
I'm going to
way.
take right there.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
those
that's
10
gonna get me
seconds.
canceled. It's gonna get me canceled. But I mean, you think about it. I mean, there is some redemption to him. Like, there are people that were in his lifestyle that didn't think of him as the monster that we think of him as now. Like, people saw him as, you know what I'm trying to say, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, and there's examples for that all throughout history, like Lenin, Stalin. Like, there are people like that. I don't know. It's what makes humans so interesting. Now, obviously, Hitler was a horrifically fucked up, horrible person. But it is weird though how we hate the Nazis more for systemically trying to exterminate one race, while Stalin can systemically try to exterminate any dissidents. But because he wasn't specific in who he killed, it's just any dissidents. We don't give him as much shit. Just because Hitler hated Jews in comparison to everything else, he's more evil.
Dude, go ask a random stranger on the street and say, who was Joseph Stalin? I bet you 50% would be like,
I don't know.
I really think that's the truth.
I would probably agree with you. If you ask people who Hitler is, they know who Hitler is.
Yeah, but like Stalin just doesn't have as much street cred. I don't know why you don't hear about him as much.
Yeah. I mean, also the Communist Party, like whenever they came into power, they killed more people than Russia. Oh, shit. Dropped the phone. You have to cut that out.
On that note, should we wrap this up? How long have we been going?
I have no idea. It's 8:20. It's been a decent amount. I feel like we can't end it on me trying to apologize for Hitler. Like, that's probably a bad way to end. I want to make that clear, people. If anyone out there is listening to it, I'm not a Hitler apologist. Just saying he's a human. People are weird.
Like, if our goal for this whole thing was for a very obscure YouTube channel that, like, this interview, let's say it will get less than 100 views. For an extremely obscure startup YouTube channel to get pulled from YouTube, like someone from YouTube reviewed it, said, way too fucked up. What would we have to do? Because it's not like we're on Joe Rogan's podcast and we're like gonna just drop a nuke on society. What do you think someone like me and you, who we're just nobodies, what would we have to do to like flag the attention of YouTube and then be like, nope, fuck those two guys in Missouri and New Mexico. They cannot. We cannot even have 25 views on this video.
Well, you'd probably have to clip what I said and like caption it like Hitler wasn't that bad, or I don't know.
Can you say
I mean, that would probably flag that, huh?
I wonder if you can say that. If we were to go on YouTube, is there one video that's like top 5 reasons why Hitler wasn't as bad as you think?
Google it. See what it comes up. Do you have access to a computer right now? I don't.
I'm on one. Let's see here. I'm gonna show you this.
Yeah, I want to see. Was like Google going? I guess you have to go on YouTube to prove the point.
Can you see this?
Yeah.
What about this?
Yeah, I got you. Type in Hitler wasn't that bad. See what comes up.
Okay, we have something here on Amazon. It seems like this is not a hot take.
Yeah,
This is a customer review on Amazon. Hitler was not the bad person they made him out to be.
Interesting. What is he reviewing?
Dude, 96 people found this helpful.
So is he just reviewing Hitler on Amazon? Is that what's happening? Is there like a book he's reviewing or something?
Oh shit. So he's reviewing The Bad War, The Truth Never Talked About, maybe? Looks like this is maybe a book, but if you try to click on it.
Who's it by?
M. King. Who is M. King?
Martin Luther.
Imagine if that was like Martin Luther King's secret doctrine
Lost
that you came up
book.
with? Oh, dude.
We're on our path to getting canceled now. I think that did it. That was it right there. So
That would
someone
be-
just put a review out on Amazon talking about Hitler's not that bad.
Well, they were reviewing a book or something that said the history they don't tell you about.
God,
But
what a
then,
weird idea. What a weird ideology to subscribe to. Like white power people. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, white power, we're the best. Such a weird, I don't know. How do you get lost down that? Like, that's so fucking
because
weird.
we love us versus them, dude. We
Yeah, I guess they're
love
just
us
the
versus
they're just the other. They're just the other. That's all they are. It's in their mind.
I saw something, who knows where, could be complete bullshit. But like people who are in war-torn countries during actual times of war are actually happier and have higher levels of dopamine than when they're not. Because it's like we're working on something together.
I
We're
could see
fighting
it.
for something.
I mean, how many stories have you heard from like people who like actually were conscious during 9/11? Talked about how the country was unified and people were so like America, America. And that's a pretty small example compared to
We
like
need
World War
another
II.
9/11.
Yeah,
We're
maybe
just on our
people.
way to getting canceled.
Yeah, we need another
Somebody
9/11.
blow
Let's
up.
end the podcast with "We need another 9/11." I think that's a great one. Clip that and put that out there. I think people would really resonate with that. I think that
It
would
would be
be.
a hilarious
We
social
can't hit New
experiment.
York City again. It's redundant. So what city are we going to hit this time?
LA seems like a good choice. Maybe Chicago.
LA is redundant. It's on too much media. And what's a good like national landmark that could be used? That could like go down.
That people would be the most upset about.
Most upset about.
Well, I would say the Statue of Liberty, but if we're not going to go New York, I guess the White House.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know. There'd probably be people out there that applaud that.
Yeah, they'd be happy about it.
It's got to be like not. It's got to be like a neutral. Something people like. Maybe the Arch. The Arch people seem to like that.
Eh, I don't know. More people cared when Kobe died than like
Yeah,
when
sure.
when 500,000 people died from COVID.
Dude, Kobe, that one hit me hard. I'm not gonna lie. That was a tough one. R.I.P. Black Mamba. He's a goat.
Something like this is another fucked up thought, but if you die young in some tragic way, you will be remembered forever. Like Mac Miller, Kobe Bryant, everyone's like, oh no, it
XXX
wasn't supposed to happen.
Tentacion. Juice
Yeah,
WRLD.
it gives you infamy.
Yeah.
It's almost like, damn, would it be better for just some crazy shit to happen like that?
Yeah, but it's like short lived. I mean, who's gonna remember Mac Miller 60 years from now?
Nobody's gonna remember anything 60 years from now.
I mean, people still talk about Jimi Hendrix. He died when he was like, what, 26, 27? He's still
But
like,
why do they talk about him? Not because he was like 90 years old and died in a retirement home.
oh, because he was considered.
So good and he was so tortured and he died of drugs and
Yeah, like was he actually the greatest like guitar player of all time, or is it just because he died young? Like, is that why he gets the mantle? Like, I'm sure there are better guitar players out there right now, but no one talks about them because they didn't die young and they didn't have fame while they were doing it.
I don't know.
Back to the present issue. We got to find a city for the next 9/11.
And we're the ones who are actually operating.
If we're orchestrating the plan, how do we get a country to back our then war? Who are we going to go to war? Who would we blame it on? We had to pick a country that doesn't have nuclear capabilities. So,
Does
I mean,
Mexico have nukes?
I don't know. It's a good question. I would assume they do, but I don't know.
At this point, what countries don't have nukes?
That's a good question as well. I don't think. I don't know. I bet Mexico doesn't have a nuclear weapon, because of the Monroe Doctrine.
What's
Google
that?
that really fast.
We have to get back to present now. This is so fucking nifty.
This is kind of cool. Does Mexico have a nuclear weapon?
Monroe Doctrine. U.S. foreign policy position that opposes European colonialism. What?
In the New World. This was the President Monroe who said like we don't want any other countries meddling in the Americas, so North America or Latin America. South America. Like we just said, like stay the fuck out.
Hmm.
So we're kind of like we patrol it. It's like our territory. Like we'll go to war with somebody if they try to like peddle influence in this part in our part of the world. Kind of my understanding of it.
Okay, so we have Mexico and weapons of mass destruction and lists of states with nuclear weapons. Doesn't look like they do.
That's what I thought. Yeah, none of the Latin American countries do because we're the only people. We're the big dogs.
What is this green? States formerly possessing nuclear weapons? Are those like, oh shit, I bet Ukraine wishes they still had some nukes right now.
Yeah.
How do you formerly possess nuclear weapons? You had it once and then you just gave it up to somebody?
Yeah, that's weird. Nuclear proliferation. I think that was JFK was the big guy against kind of denuclearizing the world. And we kind of went into a weird area where everyone was trying to descale. Like we have less nukes than we did back like 40 years ago.
Do you see
So does
these
Russia.
numbers right here?
No, I have to pick the phone up.
So the
It's a
US
nice
has
view for
five
everybody.
the US the US has 5,244 total nukes. We've deployed, is that right? 1,670?
That means that we've like tested that many?
Well, it says right here 1,030 tests. But according to these numbers, Russia has more nukes than the US and has also
Yeah.
deployed more.
Yeah, I knew that. We've kind of toned down our nuclear arsenal, but we still have enough to destroy the world. So it's like, why does it matter? Do you destroy the world 3 times or just once? Like,
Dude, look at
yeah,
this. The US has 5,000 total nuclear warheads. Russia has 5,000. The next closest is China, 410. And you hear all this talk about uh, North Korea. They have 30 nuclear warheads. That's literally nothing.
yeah, but that's a county gone. I mean, that's 30 counties just erased from the map. That's not nothing. I mean, that still poses a threat. Like if they launched, that's fucking game over.
Dang, good for Mexico. They have renounced nuclear weapons and pledged to only use its nuclear technology for peaceful purposes.
Yeah, well, they said that because Daddy United States said, "Bitch, you ain't having a nuclear weapon on our border." Like, I think that was like the point of the Monroe Doctrine. It's like no one's gonna have a nuclear bomb in this, and we got them first, so we kind of like held the stick, and they're like, "No, no." But then Russia was like, "Fuck you, we don't care."
Dude, Russia is so big. Like it is
Yeah,
an absolutely massive nation.
it's twice the size of the continental United States. Like that's fucking insane. And the United States is massive. Like you drive through the United States, it's huge. Like drive coast to coast. Now do that another time. That's Russia. And it's just all barren landscape. It's all like tundra and like Siberia where no one lives. Like most of it's uninhabitable.
If you were Putin, would you take mushrooms, LSD?
Oh God, I think you get in that position not taking mushrooms or LSD. Like,
Yeah.
I think people underestimate. Like, I don't know. I think this whole like calculus of like we need Putin gone. It's like, well, what replaces him? Like, we have a good historical example of who replaces the dictator that you dispose. Because most times it's not fucking better. So let's not fight fire with fire here. This is not a good idea. Like, that's my opinion. I'm very uneducated, but I still am more educated than most people. It's like if you dispose Putin, who's the next guy? Is because the Russian people, like the biggest misunderstanding people have is they think they're subjugated and they don't like Russia. No, they're very proud. They like their country and they're pretty pro-Ukrainian war. Like the internal polling in Russia is like they're pretty unified for the most part. Like this little blip that happened is really interesting, and I don't understanding enough to talk about it. But yeah, they're a very proud people. That's not like they just like want to dispose of their government. Like I don't know, they're buying it hook, line, and sinker. So if we dispose them, who's coming next? What's the next thing? Is it going to be more hawkish? And they have the most nuclear warheads in the world, so we shouldn't be like hoping that their government falls because then you have mercenaries in the hands of nuclear weapons. Like that's not a great solution, I think, for the world peace. Like we should probably be opening our arms and hoping that Russia somewhat tries to, be more democratic. At the same time, it's beyond me. Like that whole foreign policy stuff with them is interesting, to say the least.
If you had to make a life savings bet, do you think in our lifetime we see nuclear weapons used again? Yes or no?
Like on a military operation,
Yeah.
not just like testing. Outside of some natural disaster that makes resources scarce, so if you take that away, I would say no. I don't think we see another nuclear interaction. If resources become scarce, if something traumatic happens and people are fighting over resources, then yes. But if that's removed from the equation, which I think it probably is, then I would say no, no nuclear weapons. I mean, it's
Good bet.
possible.
I'm glad you didn't speak that out into existence. Watch you,
Yeah.
like you're like, yeah, I think they will. And then next week it happens.
Yeah.
That would
Fall off.
that'd be fucking crazy.
I'd rather be wrong on that guess than be right. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think so. I mean, what kind of a person does that? You press the button, it's game over.
Yeah, you're
And
not
it's
only ensuring death for a lot of other people, but at this point, potentially yourself.
like that's why we fight proxy wars. Like we're fighting a proxy war with Russia right now, with Ukraine. We're fighting proxy wars in the Middle East. It's like that's what we've done since World War II. Because you can't fight a big old war now because it's game over. So we just kind of vie over like positions of power. Like we still go to war. We fuck up the people that are in between it. People that don't have nuclear weapons are fucked. But we've ensured more world peace by having nuclear weapons. I do believe that. Because we would have gone to war with Russia, and Russia probably would have gone to war with us had they not had the ability to destroy each other instantaneously without actually expending real resources. It kind of keeps people from doing crazy shit.
We're living in the weirdest of times.
Very weird times. We had a good message there, like two-thirds of the way through. Live your life. Don't worry about the bullshit.
Yeah.
Everything
People
will
should
be
just
all right.
stop listening at that point. That's where we kept it
Yeah.
positive. After that, we got
Yeah,
into Hitler.
we kind of dug back into
No.
Hitler apologist trying to find our next 9/11. It's okay.
But that's what you can expect, man. Thank you so much for doing this. I feel like we've been talking about giving people this for like 10 years.
Yeah, hopefully it's received well. Maybe it's a little shaky at first, but I think we got into some interesting stuff.
If anybody is actually listening to this and they have made it to like
This far,
bravo
bravo.
to you.
Yeah, seriously,
Honestly, I
not.
question what you were doing with your life. Like you really had nothing better to do. But also, good job. You made it.
Hey, at least one of our talks is immortalized. It's out there. We can listen
It
to it
is.
20 years from now and show our kids and be like, look how weird we were.
Yeah. That's fucking awesome, man. I love you to
Yeah.
death.
Love you too, man. We should do this again. Maybe we bring some other folks in on it. Do like a conference.
Yeah, we got to expand up from here. If we don't get canceled, like straight up canceled, I think we have
If this actually blows up, then we'll go from there. I doubt it though.
We'll see. CIA knocks at your door tomorrow.
Yeah, you said some fucked up shit about 9/11. You were planning the next 9/11, Logan.
You end up in a jail cell. I'm there, like naked, tied hands behind my back, just getting talking.
What city? You mentioned the arch in Los Angeles. What city are you going after?
The fuck are you talking about? It's like that scene from that 007 James Bond movie where he's like hitting the guy's balls while he's up to the chair. Have you seen that?
Yes, and you're sitting there just getting whipped, and they're like, Ty gave us an answer. Are you going to give us the same answer? And then they just like take the belt off and like tie me down. And like, are you going to give us the same answer? And I see you bloody and beaten. Fuck.
Oh, just because of podcasts, we fucking unleashed an evil spirit into the world.
Oh, jeez.
Let's get off of here before we cause any more destruction.
Sounds good, man.
Any fucking tarnish our family names.
I hope parents don't listen to this. It's fine.
Either way, man. Let's do this again and
I agree.
drag some more people into our filth.
Sounds good. All right, man. Love you, Doug.
Love you, brother. Peace.
See ya.